All right, so now let's go to Lovely Bones. Take it away, Ben.
Alice Sebold's best-selling novel, picked by Oprah, much hyped. It's the same story. A 14-year-old girl, I guess, in suburban Pennsylvania vanishes one day, and we know there's no mystery here.
Right off the bat,
we learn she's murdered, and we know who did it. Stanley Tucci. Never trusted that guy. And then through a series of rugby matches, the town comes together.
That brings both the undead and the living world together.
So she dies, and she goes to this middle world, in the in-between. And it's this fantastical world of bright colors and rainbows. It seems like a movie for a 10-year-old. While the family, Rachel Weisz, the mother, and Mark Wahlberg, the father, they are devastated. And the cop, Michael Imperioli, from Chris Moltisanti from The Sopranos, tries to figure out who killed her. They are unable to. A year passes by before we start to get some idea, before they start to get some idea of who does it. And it's sort of, and she evidently can't go on to heaven until we learn who did it, or something like that.
There's a resolution of some sort.
Right. She's waiting for them to find the killer, I think. Sort of. Yeah.
So, Ben, you sound skeptical. Let's start with you. I mean, did you not like it?
I would give it whatever the F that we have is. I'm bringing it out. I don't think there was a worthy moment in the movie. Stanley Tucci is a great actor. And so, you see him this year playing Julia Child's husband so effectively, this sort of astute, erudite, liberal State Department employee accused of communism standing by his wife. He's so good. He's so good in everything. And he's really good here. There is one good moment in the movie, so I'll backtrack already. The scene where he actually takes her and lures her into his
I agree.
lair.
I think there's another good moment in the movie.
And also there's some tension when the other sister is in his house.
I think that was, to me, the best moment in the whole movie.
It could have been. I think those were 1 and 2, and I
thought that moment was amazing, and the whole, the using of the lack of sound.
The lack of sound. It was
made
good
me
stuff.
think of, what is it, Bob Le Flambeur, the French movie where they do the whole heist silently.
Right.
The way he's listening for the pages turning. That
was good. That was good.
Tension of that scene. It makes me think, okay.
And if this director, this young director, Peter Jackson, if he wants to put that scene on his resume tape, I think he might get some more work.
Exactly. Like, oh right, there's the Peter Jackson we know as a horror director who could be really effective.
Yes, I agree with you. I thought there were 2 good scenes, both orchestrated by Peter Jackson's ability to tell a story when he is, motivated or into it, and really a terrific performer in Stanley Tucci.
All right. Now I'm going to shock the world. I really like the movie.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy.
I told you I'd shock the world.
You're crazy.
Okay. Now look.
Did you see the short version of this movie? Because this movie needs to, at the very least, be about 40 minutes shorter than it was.
I hear you on that. But look, here's the thing. We're all guys, right? And in the beginning, what bothered me was the lack of logic. Okay? And I'm looking at it from a male perspective. But for some reason, I froze that. And this, if you don't know, is actually, in my mind, the most female movie out there. It's not a chick flick. It's not, any of those
Did you
things.
watch it by yourself? Who did you watch it with?
I actually watched it with Ben.
Okay.
Right. But it's emotional. It's
No, it
it involves fantasy. There's all these things that I think.
Look, it's so melodramatic.
It involves fantasy. What
No,
does that
I
mean?
know. That sounds bad, but I'm telling you, I got the sense that this is a movie that women are going to enjoy. And then I asked you in the middle of the movie,
We're
I'm like,
not
this is the
asking you. You're
Oprah
not
thing.
doing a review of whether women will enjoy
No,
it.
see,
No. But I know. Here's the crazy part. So I tapped into my feminine side. Okay.
Yeah, your feminine side is nuts.
Okay. You don't want to know my feminine
Your feminine side is crazy.
Okay, and I really enjoyed the movie. I thought Peter Jackson did a great job with it. I mean, for what it was supposed to be.
Mess.
What was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be, this the idea of this girl who's caught until we get this resolution in this middle world, and there's a sense of justice. There's a sense of great tragedy.
But there's not. He's not doing it that way. I mean, I feel like the movie's trying to do 2 things. You've got these moments that he's trying to inject tension. And on one hand, it almost wants to be this story about this kind of ghost story. And will her family find out who actually killed her? Will there be justice in the end? And is it going to be that kind of tense thriller story? Or is it going to be this melodrama about the family trying to get on past her death? And neither of which go with each other. You can't do a movie that way. You can't have the tension and drop the tension on the one side and the tragedy on the other side. I don't think it works. And you've got a few scenes in there that work. You know, the scenes that are supposed to be tense, like the taking of the girl, like the scene in the house with the sister. And I think that, as cliched as they are, Susan Sarandon's the only thing on the family side that injects any life into that movie at all.
Yeah,
Right? She comes in and she
the
kind of wakes.
grandmother.
She's the grandmother, and she's hilarious. Is she being cliched? Probably.
Totally.
But I think she's a lot of fun. But I think that, you know, I watched this with a female friend of mine who'd read the book. She couldn't stand it.
That's interesting because that fantasy stuff that in the netherworld or whatever we're calling that middle ground that she's in limbo. Normally I would hate it, but for some reason I liked it.
It was terrible. It looked like it was from a 1976 PBS after-school special. And then it's combined with this other movie that is, by the way, occasionally, as we've talked about the two dramatic moments, and then occasionally literally makes no sense. It has, I believe, a terrible bit of justice in its final conclusion of Stanley Tucci. It makes no logical sense. We don't know why the father suddenly decides to accuse Stanley Tucci. It doesn't hold up. We don't know if she's really communicating with the father. She appeared to him kind of once in a window. Did she say something to him? That dialogue is never established. She is intermittently sort of happy-go-lucky and enjoying this world, and then she's like, oh, well, I don't know. It feels like maybe I should check in with my family, see how they're doing finding that dude who killed me. There's no consistency, no building of a story. The mother vanishes, comes back. At the moment, by the way, Stanley Tucci is caught dead to rights at one point in the movie, but then there's a whole other build later so that we're supposed to believe, can he dispose of the body in time? He's done. They have evidence. He's going away. He's finished. Doesn't matter whether they find the body. And then he does the thing that you and I talked about of trying to dispose of the body he has a large trunk and he parks like 200 yards away from where he's supposed to dump it so that we can have a dramatic, slow moving of that trunk with the body, and it's all contrived.
Right, which is completely different than the way that goes down in the book.
Is that right? Did you
Yes.
read the book?
I did not read the book, but my
you
friend who
asked your
read the
friend about
book, she says that happens at the beginning.
Right. No.
Right? The safe goes in there right off the bat.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
finding the body irrelevant, totally irrelevant,
Right.
and foolish.
All right, so finally, I always think that critics sometimes give better reviews to different movies because they're so tired of seeing the same movies that if a movie's different, that they have what I call a critic's bias. We haven't seen that many movies doing this show, so I don't think I have a critic's bias, but if I do, it's in this one because it was different and I liked that it was different. Okay, so take it for what it's worth. Obviously, these guys hated it, but I'm going to continue to shock the world. 8.5.
You're worthless.
So you're really saying you like this more than Invictus?
Yeah, I did at the time that I watched it. I know it's crazy, and I confess it's crazy. Go see Invictus.
What do you have? What do you have,
think,
Matt?
I kept checking my watch. I kept thinking, when is this going to be over? I'd look at my watch. I'd think, oh my God, I can't believe there's another 40 minutes left in this damn movie.
So
it's like the extra time he took on the end, that he decided to give us all a break at the end of Return of the King. He's paying us back in this movie. It's way too long. There's 2 good moments. At best, I'm going to give it a 2.
wow. Okay, we're breaking all records for disparity here.
One.
That's awesome.
It's terrible. 2 different movies, neither of them good. One better than the other. The fantasy movie was ridiculous and for children, and it's about the murder of a young girl, so it's not for children. And the other movie was, average.
Okay, now I want the audience to admit something. Okay, now you're curious, aren't you? Okay, admit it.